ho, ho, ho.
Hello everyone and welcome to Care to Christmas. I'm Laura and today we'll be making gingerbread biscuits. What we've got so far is we've got all of our stuff laid out, so you've got all your utensils and ingredients, and we'll go through that in a minute, but first we're going to go and wash our hands. Okay, so now we have our clean hands. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have all the ingredients that we need to make our gingerbread biscuits. So we have 225 grams of plain flour. We have, in this little bowl here, I've put them all ready. So we've got half a teaspoon of salt. We've got 2 teaspoons of bicarbonate of soda, a heaped teaspoon of ground ginger, and half a teaspoon of cinnamon. So we have that ready. Then we also have ready for melting. So we've got 50 grams of butter, 100 grams of brown sugar, and then 100 grams of golden syrup. Along with our ingredients, we need certain utensils and different things that we need to make. So we always have a big bowl, so you need to make sure that you have your bowl ready. There's spatulas that we need, there are some spoons, baking trays and our cutters. And then for later we need our rolling pins. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our bowl and we're going to add in our ingredients. So we're going to start with our 225 grams of plain flour, so that can go straight in there. There we go. And then we're going to add the salt, bicarbonate of soda, ground ginger and cinnamon, and that can go straight in there into the bowl. We're going to give that a little mix just so that's all integrated in together, so we can get that mixed. There we go, that's nice and mixed. And we can set that aside ready, because now we're going to do some melting. So in another bowl that can go in the microwave, we're going to put in our brown sugar, so we'll pop that in there. We're going to put our butter, I could just use a spatula to get that out, and then this is the gooey bit, we're going to add our golden syrup. The spatula is really, really handy for that, because you can really get everything out the bowl. So we're just going to scrape that all out. How are you getting on with your scraping? There we go. So this is how my bowl looks now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go and use a microwave, and you want to microwave your mixture in this smaller bowl for 30 seconds at a time until it's all dissolved. So we'll have a look in a second, we'll go off and microwave and then we'll come back, then we can compare our mixtures. Okay, so my mixture took probably about 30-40 seconds, and you can see in there that it's all combined and it's all a nice brown mixture. So now we've got that. We don't want it too warm either, so you just need to get that right at the right point. So we've got our flour mixture that we made already earlier, so we've got that. So what we're going to do is, following our instructions, we leave that to cool, which it is now, so it's nice and cool. And then we're going to add our mixture into our dry ingredients, and then we're going to make a dough. So using the spatula again, we can make sure we get all of that out. So we're going to put that in. I think we might have a little bit more in our bowl. It's great to get everything out of the bowl, make sure we're using all those ingredients up. We'll put that one to one side. You just scrape that bit off there, and then we've got our spoon to mix, and then we can start mixing. So that'll all combine into a nice dough. So we'll get mixing. Oh, it's going well. How is everybody's dough coming along? I think making gingerbread biscuits is always nice in December because it gets you feeling all Christmassy. So you have all those ginger and cinnamon smells in the home. It's great, so it's started to really come together now. Just got those extra bits of flour, so it's all pulling through. And then what we'll do is when it's just about there, we'll start using our hands then, so we can put it into a ball, because once it's in a ball, what we need to do is we need to put it in a bowl or wrap it in some cling film, and then it'll go in the fridge. We need to make sure it's nice and cool, ready for rolling. So now we're nearly there with our ingredients. Just before we put our hands in, what we want to do is we want to make sure we wash our hands again. So we'll go over, pop and wash our hands, and then we're back ready to handle the dough and get rolling that into a ball. Okay, so here we are ready to start mixing. We can get that, start bringing it together. Get both hands in there. We need to make sure it gets cooler. So as we're bringing it together, we'll then get some cling film and make sure we can wrap that up. Oh, so we've got a nice ball so far. Got some little bits in the bottom, so we'll get them together, make sure they go into the big ball as well. And then that's when we're going to put the mixture into the fridge for maybe like 15-20 minutes, just to keep it cool so it's ready for rolling. There we go. So I have a cling film pack here, so I will just pull a bit off. Put that to the side, pull a bit off, there we go, pop our ball in, and then we can rip that off if we can, there we go. And there's our ball ready to go in the fridge. So we'll pop that in the fridge now, and we'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay everyone, so now we've got our dough out the fridge, we've popped that down and we'll wash our hands and everybody be ready to start rolling. So we'll unwrap this, it'll probably be nice and cool by now. Pop that to one side, and then it's time to get our rolling pins out. And then we've got a little pot of flour ready for dusting so it doesn't get too sticky on the board. So we'll start by sprinkling a little bit. I can turn that over, sprinkle a little bit on top, and I just like a bit on my rolling pin as well. So we'll start out by rolling. It should be a little bit stiffer now. There we go. Should have a nice firm dough. We'll keep moving it round. Sometimes if it's not cool enough, we can go back into the fridge for a little bit longer if it needs it. But you just like it nice and firm so it all stays together, ready for our cutting. So what we'll do is we'll roll it out. You want it at about 1/4 of an inch thick. Sorry, that was a bit hard to say. So we're about there. So what I like to do is I like to do different shapes. So we've got gingerbread men, we can do hearts and Christmas trees, stars. There's lots of different shapes that we can do. I'm going to go for this size gingerbread man because then I can get quite a few men out of it. So what we've got is, I've got a man there, do another one. Just pop this to the side, because what we'll do is with any offcuts, what we don't use for this round, we'll roll out again and then we can use it all over again. So I have a little spatula that I take these up with. So we've got a man here and we'll put him straight onto the baking tray. And again, another little man. There we go. So gingerbread biscuits, we'll just keep going. Oh, he stayed in, that's nice. Nice gingerbread person there. And we'll just keep going until we've filled the tray and we've used all of our dough up. So if you continue to do your cutting and your rolling, and then we'll be ready to put them in the oven. So we'll put our dough back together. We can bring that together with our hands. And then we can roll again. What we'll do is we'll pop those to the side. And we'll just keep rolling. Might do a bigger one actually. This one's a bit bigger. Oh, there we go. We can just pop him out. There he is. There's the gingerbread man on that one, and then we can do gingerbread biscuits and we can do all different shapes. So once we've got them on there, we can get them in the oven. Okay everybody, so now we've got our gingerbread biscuits on our tray and they're ready to go in the oven. We're going to pop them in there for 10 to 15 minutes on 190C or 170 on our fan assisted ovens. Pop them in now. Okay everyone, so now our biscuits are in the oven. We'll have a bit of a clean up, so we're ready for decorating. But first, here's a Christmas joke for you. What do Santa's helpers learn at school? They learn the alphabet. Let's get cleaning. Okay everybody, so what we've got now is we've got our baked gingerbread men and our biscuits of different shapes. So we've got trees, stars and hearts that we've done. So what we'll do now is we'll make sure that we've got some icing ready to decorate our biscuits. So I've got a little bowl here of icing sugar, and what we'll do is we'll just add a little bit of water at a time. We might not need too much, so we'll start mixing. So we've added some water into that mix now. Then you might find that you just need to add a little bit more. Less is more at this point. So we'll go again. And we'll keep mixing. Here we go again. There we go, it's nice coming together now. And once we've mixed, what we'll do is we'll make our DIY piping bag. I think it's always better to have something with a point to do your icing. So that's quite a nice thickness, and we can get that in our piping bag. It's quite a good one. So what we'll do is we'll leave that now because it's quite thick, and that's ready to decorate with our Smarties that we've got. Leave that there. So what we've got is we've got a sandwich bag. What we're going to do is we're going to put the icing in here, make sure it comes down to a point, and then we'll make sure all the air's out, and then we'll cut just off the end here, and that's our piping bag. So if we open the bag up, there we go. We'll just drop that in there. There we go. Lovely. So we've got our icing, so we'll drop that like that. And we can all see the icing in there, and we'll just drop it like this to the corner. We can just put that together. And you can start squeezing that down to the bottom. It's quite sensory actually, I think, pushing that down. There we go. Can we see that? That's dropped to the bottom now. Then what we'll do is we'll get our scissors and we'll just cut the point off just here to be able to see that. So what we'll do is we'll just pop it. You don't need a big hole, but you've got that now. And what we'll do is move those out of the way, and then we've got our gingerbread men and gingerbread biscuits that we made. So we've got our Smarties ready. And this is the fun bit, I think, because you can really get creative with where you want to put your Smarties, or you can use Skittles or jelly tarts or anything really. We've got that, there we go. A nice little dot for an eye. And then once the icing's on there, you can, it's essentially like a glue that we're sticking our little sweet treats on with. So that's our man. What we'll do is we'll put some Smarties on him. So there's his 2 eyes, and then he's got 3 buttons. You might like to put some icing down on his shoes, and then you can do some little boots for him. Or you can just use the icing to decorate. So for our Christmas tree, we could have some, it can look like tinsel, so you can just go across with your icing. That's why I like using the bag, because it's quite good to use to get those little lines on. So we've got some, or we could probably do a little dot at the top for the star. That's quite nice. There we go. And then the star. There we go, so we've got some nice dots on the edges there, and we can add some Smarties onto that too. I hope you're having a good time making your decorations on your gingerbread biscuits. I'm going to add some Smarties onto the edge of my star. So there's loads of different things you can do. There we go. What I'll do is I'll turn that so everybody can have a look. That's what I've done with my biscuits today. I can't wait to see what everybody else is doing with their biscuits. Wonderful. Well, there are gingerbread biscuits for today for Care to Watch. I hope you had a lovely time, and we'll look forward to the rest of December, but thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.